everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. You reach Chris Loves Luxe, and today we are reviewing the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Now this palette dropped yesterday. Yes, I got it yesterday because I pre-ordered it and she shipped it before the drop date, so I got it yesterday. I almost did this review last night, but I was doing another review on a foundation review and wear test, which will be up already on my channel by the time this drops. Check that out. But this is the Glam palette. It's another small 15 pan palette. This is, I think, what she's going to start doing going forward, which is cool because the pans are a lot smaller. Nobody will get through all of their eyeshadow, at least not even you have as much as I do. Here are the colors. All right. Definitely neutral leaning cool, right? This is actually a bigger version of the mini Glam palette, which I have as well, right? One of the things I just want to point out before we jump into the video is these shade names are very different from what we're typically used to, okay? So there are names like outer corner lid, center lid, you know, crease, transition. So if there are more than one of a specific shade name, I have to point to the color in order for you to know which one I'm using. Okay, so I just want to put that little disclaimer out there. Bear with me during this because it was like center eyelid this one, center eyelid this one. Anyway, I am not going to share anything else about the palette. I'm just going to shut up and let you jump right in. Before we jump in, jump on that like button, click that like button, click that subscribe button, come become a part of my family. Head over to Instagram, follow me at Chris Loves Luxe, and I'll see you at the end. Enjoy. Okay, y'all, so we're gonna first, let's look at the mini Glam. So this is what the original mini Glam looks like, right? And I'm gonna say there's cool tones, but not crazy because some of it is neutral, right? This is the actual Glam palette. So I'm gonna go like this so you can see it. Very cool and neutral toned, right? So I don't own a lot of neutral cool tone palettes. Actually, I might own 3, but one stuck out to me. And actually, I was watching, I don't even know, a random YouTube. I should have wrote it down. If I find it, I'll put it in the description box. But they mentioned Sultry palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm like, oh wait, I have that palette. Oops. So here's the palette. So that is cool tone and some neutral. So let's take these 4 out the equation and just look here. So I'm just going to only show you that and then show you this. And you can see definitely some similarities, right? So the question becomes, can you dupe this out with something in your collection? If that's your question, then I would say if you have the Sultry palette, you can come very close. Now there's a couple of specific shades really quick because I want to jump into the eyelid that I just want to show you. So if I take Steampunk, right, just hella pigmented. You put Steampunk right there. That's the swatch, a very big swatch, but that's the swatch. Then I take center eyelid. These are killing me, these names. And I put it next to Steampunk. It's a very slight deviation, almost no deviation in my mind from the 2. Okay, so that stood out to me when as soon as I opened the palette, I went straight for the goldish color, and said, Anastasia is giving me sultry vibes, right? So then there is, what is this? Pearl and rose quartz. These two right here. So I'm going to take pearl and put that one right here. And I'm actually going to take rose quartz and put rose quartz. I'm going to put rose quartz here. Okay? Pearl and rose quartz from the Sultry palette. Then I'm going to go in and these names y'all got to get used to, because there's more than one center eyelid. There's more than one inner corner. So it's very difficult for me to choose a shade to kind of show you guys, right? But I am going to take center eyelid from here and inner corner from here. And I am going to put them both next to rose quartz. And if you can tell, that was center eyelid. It's very similar. This one's a little lighter, but these two are very similar, right? Then when we're looking at pearl, and we look at this center eyelid, there's multiple ones. This center eyelid, it's going to be a little more smoky, I think. Yeah, that's not an exact match. There's one more I want to put in here, put next to it, and that one is inner corner. They're killing me with these names. I put inner corner on this side of rose quartz. Nope, that's not really a dupe. Rose quartz, I mean, this is pearl, has a different shift to it. But these two and these two, definitely very similar, right? And I'm going to take one more. Cinder from the Sultry palette. Put that one right here, right? Do that a little better, right? That's Cinder. Then I'm going to take two shades. I am going to take Brown Bone, and I'm going to take outer eyelid. So let's start with Brown Bone and then outer eyelid. So this is Brown Bone. This is outer eyelid. So those aren't the same. So really, this one and this one are. The rest of them are different. So it's very interesting though, because they're not that far off, right? Sultry palette, I don't even know if it's still on Anastasia's site. I think it is. I know I got mine from TJ Maxx, right? So and I got for $20 versus the $65 for the Natasha Denona palette. When it comes to the actual matte shades that are in here, I'm going to take Twig. Here's Twig. Here is, what is this? Distopan. Then I'm going to take this black here. That's called Noir. I'm going to just put that one here, which you can't really see. This one here, and this one here. Right? Let's make this one a little better. So those all came from the Sultry palette. Then I'm going to go in with Crease, Smoke, and Lash Line. crease. Wow. There is, let me just pick up some more. There is smoke. That's different. That's not, this is. And then there is lash line. This is much more pigmented from the Sultry palette than this one. But here are the swatches comparisons. All right, we've done enough of that. I'm ready to try this palette out, okay? So let me just clean my hand off before I get it on my shirt. Anastasia is not coming off. Okay. All right. All right. So really, out of my collection of eyeshadows, that is the one that really stood out to me. So I just wanted to really compare those for you guys before you go run out and buy this palette, in case you're trying to figure out whether it's really worth it, right, to get it if you already have these colors in your collection. Now for me, I don't lean towards cool tones, so I don't have a lot of cool tone palettes in my collection, but that one definitely is not a twin, but they in the same family, first cousin, something. Okay. All right, so let's think about these shade names here, right? So Anastasia, I keep on saying Anastasia now. Natasha Denona is trying to make us pick what a crease color is. Boo-boo. Everything in here may not necessarily be a crease color for me or anyone deeper than me. But I didn't watch the promo and the Instagram, so tell me in the comments if she says or if she guaranteed that regardless of your skin tone, this was going to work for you. Let me know in the comments, okay? All right, so let's go in with crease. Now the good thing is this is the only one named crease in the pan, so that makes it a little easier for you guys to know which one I'm talking about. So I did prime my eyes, as you guys saw. Even though she put crease, you know I'm using it as a transition. Because y'all want to see the transition shade? I ain't using it as a transition. No ma'am. We're going to do crease. The color crease is going to be my transition shade. Because this, that ain't no transition shade. No. Sorry, Natasha. So we're going to do an eye look here and an eye look here. Y'all know how it is. Now, once we go in with that, it gets interesting, because what do you choose? Do you choose center eyelid, inner corner? Because see me, I would use inner corner on my lid, but we're going to go with how this is set up. So I know how she normally does, like, what is it? The quad matrix, where the 4 here can go here and the 4 here can go here. But as I'm looking, I don't think you can do that if this is named lash line, right? Because if that's named lash line, then wouldn't that mean that you can use them, you can use lash line in any eye look? But food for thought. Let's go in with I'm going to do center eyelid, but I'm going to go all the way across to this center eyelid. That's nice pigment. It says center. I'm putting it over my whole eyelid. You can't tell me what to do, Natasha. That was really easy, yo. That was a little too easy. Now I'm gonna go blend out my transition shade, which is called Crease. Oh, I wish he would have gave these some real names, some actual names, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 shades called Center Eyelid. There are 1, 2, 3 shades called Outer Eyelid. Just want to let y'all know that, okay? So if you guys were looking for something that was going to give you direction, yes, it makes it easy for the person that is not used to using shadows. It does make it easier for them as long as the color crease can be used as a crease shade on that person. All right, so I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to follow her directions. So this is called Outer Eyelid. This shade right here. Okay, dip that in. Oh, I see it. First, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me use my finger because she typically uses her finger for her application. So instead of me using my brush. And it's funny because the center eyelid shade is set center. And I'm wondering, does that mean they don't layer well? And you really do? You really do need to put it in the center. See, I'm not a fan of that, Natasha. The way this is looking. It's not playing well together. It's almost like you can't layer them. Y'all see that? I see the smoke, but when I turn my eye, I don't. You guys feel what I'm saying? And you're not supposed to need a tutorial for a damn palette. So, meaning I'm not supposed to need to go and see a tutorial from the brand on how to use a 15-pan palette. Right? I'm gonna wet the brush. And then I'm gonna go in. Just wanna see if it, listen, we're gonna go with this. If I'm looking this way, straight ahead, outer eyelid will look okay. But when I go this way, you really don't see that much smoke. But you see something. So we'll leave it and say, okay, that may work. Then there's a shade. There's a lot of shades. But we're going to take one of the shades called Inner Corner. And we're going to take this inner corner. Having the same shade names is a beast. And we'll put it right here. Ooh, that's bright for me. That might have been too bright to use, but we're gonna use it. Just for this eye look. Actually, I'm gonna bring it in a little bit. Not in love with it, but I don't do too cool tones like that, so that could be why. All right, let's flip over to the next eye look over here. Now, this one is one that's called, oh my gosh, this palette. It's one that's called Blend, and that's the one I'm gonna take and try to use it with 3 shades. I mean, a transition shade. Can you see it? You can a little. It's coming, y'all. All right, then we're gonna go in with we're gonna do this center eyelid. The almost gold one. Let me use my finger. It's a pretty color. Palette is getting a bit messy with my smudges and everything, but that's okay. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Now after that, we're gonna try another outer lid shade. These names are killing me. I'm gonna go in with the other side of this brush and just go in. This is an outer lid shade, and we're gonna see how it plays in this outer lid. Okay, then we're gonna go in. It's really easy to use. They're not hard to use shadows. I don't think that the metallics play well together on top of each other. Let me know if it's just my technique, because it could be, but in my mind, they don't play very well together. I'm gonna try it in a different way, but I just wanna go in with this color inner corner, in this inner corner. Now that's supposed to be pink, but it's not really coming out pink. Anyway, I'm not gonna put my base on. I just wanted to show you 2 eye looks. I'm gonna take this off, and then I'm gonna do one more eye look on both, same eye look on both eyes, so that I can get ready for work. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I I'm actually going to go in with Blend first. Now that I've gone in with Blend, I'm actually gonna go in with I'm gonna go in with Center Eyelid, and I am going to use a different brush. Go in with Center Eyelid. Actually, now that I think about it, should actually just put it in the center and see what happens. But it's okay. In my mind, they pretty much all look the same. Let me just make it a little deeper. Using my finger so that the actual shift of the slight bit of pink that is in here will actually show up. The brush is just not pulling it out unless I wet it, and I just prefer just to use my finger. Some on my lower eyelid because my fingers are back, but yeah, okay. Now I'm seeing the pigment in the shimmer, or metallic, I should say. Shimmer, metallic, tomato. Okay, so I do want to just blend that part out. Clumpy. Okay, I do like that. I'm going to take a different brush though. See if I pick up some more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with the color Smoke. See if this smokes it out. It's not really that deep, so I'm going to really put my brush in there. It's very, very subtle. This is not packing that serious of a punch at all. But at least it did smoke it out. It's a gentle smoke. Okay, probably if I used the lash line, it probably would have smoked it out a little and made it a little deeper. I am really packing it on, y'all. As you can tell from my brush, I am really, really packing it on. it's okay. This is an okay eye look, right? It's flattering. It'll be flattering, especially when I finish my base, but is it something to write home to moms about? I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments. Y'all gonna write home to moms about this eye look? Now, what I'm gonna do, because I am gonna switch up the eye shades, because I'm like, it's all right. I'm actually gonna use Smoke as a transition shade on this side. And I said I was gonna use the same colors, but I'm not, because I just want to see something. Yeah, see, okay. So we're gonna stick with this right here. I'll blend that out in a minute. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna take what's left of blend, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna blend this out. Okay. Now for this lid color. For this lid color, I didn't use this yet. Center eyelid. Because it's funny, this says center eyelid, so inner corner may not be an inner corner highlight. So we're gonna do exactly that, and we're gonna put this on the center of the eyelid. Okay. Then for inner corner, no, you know what? Center eyelid's going all over the eye, because these all kind of almost look alike. They're very similar in shade. They have a slight shift, like this is shifting one color versus this shifting a little on the pink neutral side. This one here shifting a little green, you know, a little gold I should say, but not even. It's interesting, but you can see the difference here. This is a little pinker, this is a little on the gold green side. Okay. What I am going to do that's going to be different, I am going to go in with Lash Line, which is that deeper color, the deepest color in there for my smoke. So I'm actually going to go in with this color right here, which is not like Noir in Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is straight black, right? But I like that better, all right? Now we're talking. So I'm gonna actually do that here. That's gonna be what I smoke my eyes out with. So if you have deeper complexion than me, right? I use Smoke as a transition shade on this side, right? I use Blend as a transition shade on this side, right? Which is Smoke I use as a transition. I use that as a transition as well, but it was like a pinky, cool tone pink. Crease I also used as a transition shade, not a crease shade. I have too much pigment and too much melanin, I will say, right? For that to come off the way it may come off on someone that's lighter than me. So I just wanted to put that out there, okay? So at this point, I'm going to finish my look off camera and I'll be back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Here's the finished look. And it doesn't look bad at all, right? I'm happy after I put my base on. Sometimes your base and everything pulls the look together, especially when you smoke out your lower lash line and everything else. So I did use in the lower lash line, the lash line, which is the darkest color, that brown color right there. Or dark, I don't even want to call it a black, but anyway, I put it in the bottom lash line. I brought the two center lid shades into my lower lash line inner part. I used one of the inner corner colors in my inner corner. I like the way the look came out, right? I'm not disappointed that I bought the palette, but I think there are just some things that could have been a lot different. One, they need names, because if you're like me and you're trying to do a tutorial and you're like, no, use this center corner, use this center corner, outer corner, blah, blah, blah. That's not effective, right? But I can see how it can guide someone that's buying the palette and maybe this is their first Natasha Denona palette and they get confused because it's 15 pans and it could be overwhelming. I get that. You know, so it depends on what your use is. If you're someone that's used to eyeshadow, then you don't need that guidance, right? So it all depends. But as far as the formula is concerned, it's typical Natasha Denona. I think one of the things that's important to note is if it says center shade and you put it all over your lid, it says center lid, but then the outer lid is also a satin or metallic. They don't play well together as far as you see in the other color, right? Because all the colors are very similar. So if it says center shade and you intend on using one of your outer lid shades, then only put it in your center shade so that you can actually see the actual pigment. And you see that in the first set of eyeshadows that looks that I did, right? The first two, I used something that was outer lid, but it says satin shimmer, right, on top of a satin shimmer, so you can't see the pigment or of the second shade because it's just too similar of a color, right? But you can use any of the shimmers and just use the matte brown or the matte black, right? And they're called, one is smoke and the other is called lash line, and you can kind of smoke out your look using that, right? If you like smoky eyes like I do, which I typically do most often because I have hooded lids, my eyes droop down, so in order for me to show that they're drooping up, I tend to always darken my outer corner of my shadow looks. So I'm not terribly disappointed. I'm glad to have a neutral, cool palette in my collection. You know, I have all of Natasha Denona's other palettes with the exception of the 28 pan. So I'm glad that is part of my collection. If you do not already have the Sultry palette, right, then yeah, okay, you can get it. If you have this, I'm gonna be honest with you, you can use this. If you're and I'm being very into neutral, cool tone palettes, then you'll probably really like this. You have the couple of dark shades to smoke it out when you want to. The shimmers, they work well. You know, the mattes always work well with Natasha Denona. There's never any problems. It's just the color payoff. I will say this. You can't tell me to use something as a transition shade and it's white or cream. That's not a transition shade for someone of my complexion, right? Or anyone darker, right? So I think Natasha Denona, what I need you to do, boo, I need you to think about all spectrums of shades, right? And I'm cool with you naming it what you want to, right? But if you're gonna name it transition, I would prefer it be a transition shade that everyone can use. Otherwise, name it something else, because that wasn't a transition shade for me. I won't ever use that light shade. What I'm gonna do with it? It's like when I buy a palette and there's a white in it. What am I use it for? You know what I mean? Possibly an inner corner, maybe. Maybe I'll use it as a white eyeliner, maybe. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So that's what I have to say about the palette. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It'll be a part of my collection. Will I pick it up again? Yes, but I will be pairing it with either other Natasha Denona palettes, or I'll actually pair it with my Viseart 12-pan palettes, because I have a lot of matte ones, right? So I think they'll pair well together. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Are you thinking about getting this palette? Are you not thinking about getting it? Are you into cool tones leaning neutral, or neutral leaning cool? Do you prefer warm? Talk to me in the comments about what your preferences are. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Also, head over to Instagram. Follow me at Chris Loves Luxe. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.